Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of TJ Hates Quitters, where we are covering the preseason of the Challenge USA, specifically today, Love Island. So I am joined by my alert co-host Josi. Josi, we have also covered some Challenge All-Stars together. You know, she does it all. Josi, how are you today?
I'm good. I feel like I haven't podcasted in a while, especially with you. So I feel a little rusty, but I'm excited because we kind of get into it when it comes to the challenge. So it'll be a fun conversation for sure.
Yes, absolutely. And before we get into it, we are here on behalf of Silent Podcast, where we are anything but silent. We've already done some preseason Survivor and Big Brother coverage in terms of the Survivor players that are going to be on this season of the challenge. The Big Brother players are going to be on this season of the challenge. And now we are covering the Love Island. I don't know if you want to call them players. Love Island. What do they get called on the show?
Contestants,
Contestants, housemate, no, like
Islanders.
Islanders. Yeah, Islanders is probably best. So for full disclosure, I definitely knew some about Survivor. I do watch Survivor, except I hadn't seen 41. I knew of like 2/3 of the Big Brother people. My Love Island US knowledge doesn't exist. If this was UK, I would be able to banter back and forth all day with you because I love UK. I just have to watch last season from UK. But otherwise, like I've seen all of them, including the winter ones. But like US, I just have not gone into. So Josie is here basically to monologue about these people. I might interject, but here's what's great about Josie is that she's a big challenge fan. She knows what makes a good challenger. She knows that like, okay, this person has this person doesn't have that. They could potentially win. They're going to be an early flop, like they're a layup, whatever. So I am trusting Josie fully on whatever she says here. And if she's wrong, disagree with her, not me. Her is at Josiane XNM.
Don't do that. Don't put me on the spot. Ah! Oh my God. Lord.
All right. So before we get into it, I know your challenge history. Tell me on behalf of the audience your challenge history and your fandom.
So I remember like flashes a little bit of watching the challenge. I've always been a reality fiend. So anytime I finished the show, I always wanted to find something else. So I found the challenge randomly by Google search and I watched a few episodes randomly in my kitchen. And I was like freshly like 7th grade, maybe 8th grade. And like I completely forgot about it, but I remembered CT and DM. And then later on in my journey, I found the challenge again. And then I was like, well, I don't want to watch this new season. I think it was Davon's first season without watching everything else. So I went and I started with Fresh Meat too. So Kara's first season and Laurel and all those other Fresh Meat people. And then I worked my way up. And so I watched everything from up until that point. And then I watched some older seasons when I watched like a weird season of the challenge like way prior to Fresh Meat once, and I just realized how different the challenge was from what it is now. And so ever since Dave Vaughn's first season, I've been watching it live and live tweeting about it, but I've watched every season prior to that, so no one can try me on that. Those seasons.
I love that you're like, I Googled reality TV and the challenge came up.
Yes, because I'm not going to say that word. I feel like it's so inappropriate, but I'm a fiend for reality TV, especially competition reality TV. I like that. And then especially if there's like that social or like that physical, like I won't watch an American Ninja Warrior. I really couldn't care less, but I like the like social, like strategic aspect of reality TV and the competition aspect to it. And so I immediately fell in love with the challenge, and it became my top 3 with Big Brother and Survivor.
Nice. So that's probably like the most unique way I've heard of anybody like that I at least have podcasted with about it. Finding it for me, no one's asked me this, so I'm just going to tell you that
Please do.
There's a sports writer. His name is Bill Simmons, and he used to write columns for ESPN, and he would always reference the challenge. And so finally one day I was just like, I need to go and watch this. So like because he always referenced it, I went and just like did a deep dive and like obviously fell in love with it. It's like my legit favorite TV show. So I just kind of like it's funny because like then the challenge did that for me with like Are You the One? I started watching Are You the One because I wanted to know where these people were coming from. So it's kind of like this person that I either like or respect, or this show that I like or respect talks about this TV show or that TV show. So like it'll lead me in that way. And that's kind of like how I got to it. So I never have heard of anybody being like, I Googled reality TV and the challenge came up, so let me watch it. That is so good.
Because I'm an absolute loser.
But we love you for it. We absolutely love you for it. So that's awesome. And now talk to me about your Love Island. Let's focus. I mean, you can bring up UK if you want, but like your Love Island US viewership.
Okay. So I think I just discovered Love Island like I did any other reality TV show I watched,
Google.
which is Google. I was a big Bachelorette fan, like really early days. Sorry, that was like a Love Island UK.
I was gonna say
trigger word. It's early
I'm
days.
in like the week 1 of Love Island UK right now, so everyone's like, "Oh, like I like them, but it's still early days." But we haven't gotten a lot of like, "Oh, that's my type on paper." It's a lot of like, "What's my type?" There's no on paper stuff this season so far, which I'm like, I feel like we've lost a bit of that, which is a little unfortunate. But anyway, go on. So early days.
Early days as or whatever. And I think I really loved Bachelor Pad, which was originally what it was in turn of like, and now I think it's Bachelor in Paradise, but originally Bachelor Pad, and I loved the drama. I was here for it. It was a little bit competition-y and stuff like that. And so I was looking for more reality dating shows to watch, and I discovered some like off weird ones. And to this day I still do. And then I
Like
found
what?
Love Island UK. Like there's this show on Netflix, and it's an Italian one, or Italian or Spanish one, and it's like Love Never Lies, and it's these couples that come on the show, and like these people should not be together. These people should not be together, and they find out about lies. There's a lie detector test every week, and then they get separated, and there's like people to tempt them. It kind of like Temptation Island type energy. So yeah, but Love Island was a show I just found on Google, and then I got into the like UK reality TV scene. And so I started watching Love Island, and I watched like season 1 up until the most recent season I was on. So then when they announced Love Island US, I was like, oh, okay, I'm down, because I was like, okay, I love the show, so this will be fun to watch the US version. And so I was one of the few people who really stuck by season 1, because I was rough in the beginning. Like it was rough around the edges.
Love Island UK season 1 like not great either. Like I feel like I remember my friends being like, skip season 1 and just watch season 2, but I watched season 1 anyway. I feel like UK had like the same kind of. I actually said like I'm not gonna watch US season 1 because if it's anything like UK season 1 sucked, and I'll just jump in at season 2, but I never jumped in at season 2. So
like it was a season 1 to me was a little rough, because it's like the banter's not the same. Like even the narration, like the narration to me makes Love Island so great. Like it's just an extra added layer. Like it makes me laugh. And the narrator from season 1, not to like bash whoever it was, but it like really was weird for me to like try to get into that again. And I just feel like American humor is not the same as UK.
Oh,
humor.
absolutely not. Absolutely.
And because I feel like as a Canadian, I relate more to like UK stuff more than American, which is like, I say that to people all the time, and they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah. And so maybe it's because we're under the monarchy. I don't know. But yeah, so it was like an abrupt thing, but I try to stick by it. I really did. I forced myself through it, and then I watched season 2, which was really, I liked season 2 much more than I liked season 1. And so from that point, I've kind of just stick by it. And I feel like casting has been better in comparison to season 1. So I've been there. Is it my favorite? I wouldn't say so, but I have an appreciation for it because I just like the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm again a loser for reality TV. So here I am.
Yeah, I have a feeling like I'll get to the US ones eventually. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I I just don't know when. It's like not a top priority for me. So I'll get there, but like Love Island UK, I definitely go out of my way to watch. Like I was gonna try and keep up with the season. It just started at like legitimately the most busy time I've had in the last like 6 months. But I'm gonna catch up and then maybe I'll invest in a VPN and try to keep like up to date with it. But I think like Love Island, especially UK, I can't say anything about US, is just like such I don't know, it's like so easy to watch, but it's so
Mm,
interesting and I don't know. So if US is even like half as good as it, I'll get to it eventually. I'll get there. But um we don't unfortunately have any UK people. We just have Love Island US people. So we're going to focus on that. And we're going to jump right into talking about these people and if they are going to make a dent in the Challenge USA scene. So
mm,
I have my list. I don't know if this will help you or not. My list goes alphabetically by first name. So
okay.
the first person I have on my list is Cachet, who is season 3, this most
Oh,
recent season.
okay. Okay. I was
Did I say
preparing
her
for
name
like
right?
seasons, but I got you. I'll do that.
Yeah, it
Um
goes alphabetically by first name with no regard to season. So this is where I
okay.
copied it down from 5 minutes before this podcast started. So,
I love it.
so
Okay. So just my thoughts on Cache?
So, I mean, what I've done in the other ones is because I don't have to explain to you like who's good,
Mm-hmm.
who's like what type of player is good, type of player is bad, and I think it like is definitely different for men and women. Like a woman,
Absolutely.
in order for a woman to win, like you usually have to be like pretty good athletically. I feel like it's kind of the same thing for men, but I feel like a little bit more average athletic man can win, like not as much as a woman. Like the woman really has to be like pretty decent athletically, but the social game like has to be strong for the woman to at least make the final.
Yes. I don't know. I feel like for women, there's another game happening
Yeah,
for
it's
women, I
definitely
feel.
different for the men, like the men and women. Absolutely,
And that's why I've kind of the challenge format sometimes when it's like there's one ultimate winner,
I hate that.
um it kind of upsets me because I don't feel like, yes, I'm all about equality, feminism first, absolutely.
Hmm.
But like the reality is that women face different challenges than men do. And
Yeah,
so it's not fair to like try to compare the two. But here's the thing, the people on this cast to me aren't the typical what we expect from the challenge. I think the challenge has deviated and evolved so differently throughout
hmm,
time that it's so
yeah,
weird. But like I've always imagined, like I remember when the challenge used to make people, they random strangers could audition to be on the show, and they just had to be athletically fit, like really fit.
hmm,
And so in terms of like that, this time I don't feel like that's the standard for the show.
yeah.
I do think people are gonna have the advantages and be maybe better, but I don't feel like, I don't know what to expect with this challenge. I don't know if we're going like really like MTV challenge energy, or if it's alternating, maybe going back to like the older what the challenge used to be, because it's not really expected of them, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I don't know how you feel about that.
I think part of it, like, I don't think that the Challenge USA really knows what to expect. And I think that they're going to kind of use this first season to help determine its course because I think something that's difficult is the challenge exists already. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
they are trying to create the same show on a different network, but like the the first season of the challenge was like back in like 1999 where like shit
yeah.
was different and like the emphasis was more so, hey, we're going to invite these people that you loved or maybe hated from the real world and road rules and have them just come like get drunk and then maybe like do a wheelbarrow across the beach and we'll give them some money at the end.
Give
Like,
them a small bicycle to ride in the
right.
beach.
Like, that was the challenge. And like,
Yeah.
it has, like you said, has evolved into like America's
Mhm.
fifth sport is regularly used about the challenge, and like people train for it year round, and like there's socializing and gaming that happens year round. Like we've
Mm.
seen Devin going from hating the Big Brother Alliance to like potentially being the head of the Big Brother Alliance within a
Besties
couple
with
of
them.
seasons. Yeah,
Yeah.
like we the off season socializing is as important as the in season socializing for a lot of them, and
Mhm.
um so I say all that to say I think at least what I know so far about the cast is like I don't think you can expect a bunch of people showing up and getting drunk every other night and then showing up and doing these like intense challenges, because the intensity of the actual dailies seems to be on par with like our
Yeah.
current modern day challenge. Plus this
Mhm.
cast is like it kind of trends older than your normal MTV challenge cast. Like
Okay.
you have like 4 or 5 people in their 40s on this cast. Like on the
Yeah.
regular
Okay.
challenge, like CT is the old guy and he's 41. We have like
Oh,
4 or 5
wow.
people older than him on this cast. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
so it doesn't seem to, not that like a person in their 40s can't come in and throw down every other night. Like I see it on Housewives all the time and shit, but it just I don't know. I think to me it's a matter of like who already knows shit about the original challenge. Are those people going to try and emulate the original challenge, or is it going to get carried off in its own direction? And that's probably the most interesting part of this upcoming season for me is like what's going to be the same, what's going to be different. Are these like, to me, I feel like the Big Brother players on the MTV challenge have kind of changed the challenge like socially for the
Mhm.
worst.
Mhm.
Um and so we have 9 Big Brother players on this season. Am I going to be annoyed by the gameplay because it's dominant by Big Brother? Is it going to be like Survivor versus Big Brother versus Love Island, and then the 3 like Amazing Racers kind of just like go wherever, like I'm very intrigued to see how it all breaks down and what carries over and what doesn't. So I guess I say all that to say I don't know if I have a real answer for your question, but that's like kind of why I'm excited about it
Yeah.
is to find out the answer to that. Does that all make sense? Like did I just
Yeah.
get on a soapbox tirade about like nothing?
No, I totally make sense. Here's where I'm at, and I feel like this will encompass a lot of the views I have for the Love Islanders. I feel like a lot of what Love Island is to be fit, as they love to
Mhm.
say,
Yeah.
to be good looking and to be in shape, to say the
Yeah.
least. Do I think that they've been training for this their whole life? No. I think that being on reality TV for them is more of an opportunity. And then so when more opportunities rise, they're gonna take it for sure. I think anyone would just be like, yeah, and maybe go to the gym a few times. What I think will be the Love Islanders' strongest suit is charm and charisma.
Mhm.
And I think that will come into hand for a lot of these people because Love Island people can be a little strategic in Love Island. I mean, but I think that depends on who you are as a person, not necessarily because you came from a show that forces you to be strategic. People who come on Love Island aren't thinking on a strategic point a lot of the times. And if they are, they don't let you know that because that would be a little bit manipulative, which would be looked down upon on a show like Love Island versus, something like Big Brother or Survivor when you can be manipulative. There's backing. So
Mhm.
that's a general overview of what I think of um the mind frame I'm kind of going into with Love Island. But starting with the first person, Cachet, I think Cachet is so entertaining. Like Cachet's just funny. Like she's one of the girls. She's one of the girls.
Mhm.
She's a fun time, and she made it really far. She made it to the final during Love Island. And she was partnered up with Cinco for two of
Okay.
the coupling ceremonies. So there's history there. And I'm pretty sure I saw on like a TikTok somewhere, somehow, of like Cache and Cinco hanging out. Like they're friends, like they're good friends. Like I don't
Okay.
see Cinco being mad at Cache and trying to like throw her under the dirt. I think a lot of these people are going to use the bonds that they already have. And
Mhm.
because Love Island isn't like a backstabbing game, I see the Love Islanders sticking together more, at least from the
Okay.
same seasons, unless they have bad blood. And so I think Cache can make it really far. I think she could easily bond. I'm pretty sure she's friends with some of like the very strategic people. Tiffany, if I'm not wrong. I
Oh,
think
okay.
honestly, a lot of the black women are gonna go together. Like they're just
Okay.
gonna gravitate towards each other, especially with someone like Shan, who just came off of Survivor and like made like this trying to unify and get us all together, because the Big Brother people and the Survivor people have just come off of seasons where they've encouraged Black unity because of the realities of what was happening outside
Mhm.
in the US with George Floyd. And I think Cache is someone who can be on that vibe, who would get along with those women as well. And when there's conversations, if they've seen each other's seasons, I know that there's been like meetups where that conversation is had, and that makes a strong bond between them. I think Cache has a good opportunity. I mean, as a woman, I don't really know her physical attributes, but I
Mhm.
know that she has like potential to make it far. On a strategic sense. On a physical sense, I have no idea, because we haven't Love Island challenges are like
They're
um
dumb.
guess guess whose baggage this belongs to.
Yeah.
Like it's
That's the one
nothing.
I just watched when they like the stuff came through the airport security, and then they waved them down with like a metal detector wand and then had to kiss them. Yeah, that I literally just
Yeah.
watched that either last night or this morning.
But yeah, I think Cache is one of the people who has potential, because she just gets along with people. And I think
Mhm.
she's very confident. And confidence is intimidating and admirable. And so I feel
Mhm.
like a lot of people might admire her for that and just want to gravitate towards her, because she has that kind of like leadership standpoint, in my opinion.
Uh-huh. So you think her strength will be her social game, and we're unsure of what her physical game will be like.
I think it's like that with everyone, to be honest. Like it's not
Okay.
even just the Love Island people, because a lot of them work out, whatever. But it's like you don't know how good someone will be. Like just because you have so many muscles doesn't mean that you can run endurance, or
Right.
that you can like hold on to something for so long, blah blah. Like I feel like the biggest physical threats in general will be people from Survivor, because they've
Mhm.
had to literally make their body bend, shift, break to get up
Yeah.
until that point. Whereas like
Yeah.
everyone else has been like sitting on sofas and like day
Mhm.
beds and
Yeah.
like talking. So I think she has potential for sure. And I think a big part of it will be her strength. I don't see her going into eliminations often, personally.
Okay.
Maybe that may be the case, but I just feel like her personality, like I feel like a lot of people are gonna fuck with it for sure.
Got it. Sorry. Full transparency. My boyfriend has been MIA for like 12 plus hours and he just texted me. So
I love that.
yeah, he just he's alive. That's what matters. I
That's all
knew
that
his
matters.
phone was dead. It's just like, you know, uh that like uncomfortable feeling of like, should I not be podcasting right now, but be driving around Chicago and like trying to find him? Not in like I think he's doing anything bad way, just like is he
You're
alive way?
concerned. Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry if I I
No,
was listening. I just
you're
wanted
good.
to
You're good.
read that to make sure he was okay. All right. Cool.
Hmm.
So um I do think you have an interesting point because something that like I don't wanna say that I didn't want to like disagree with it, but I didn't feel knowledgeable enough to disagree with it on the Big Brother podcast was that like I feel like the term comp beast comes around with Big Brother.
Yeah.
However, I think it's at least in what I've seen in Big Brother, and I own that I have not seen a lot of it, but Big Brother comps are like nothing in comparison to challenge ones, unless it's like challenge trivia, which, by the way, if we don't get trivia, I've said this to you already, Josie, if we don't get trivia, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
We're getting trivia.
I need
The
it.
way
I
TJ, I
absolutely
just
need
watched
it.
episode 7, and the way TJ literally stands there before he even says anything, everyone's like, it's fucking trivia. Look at the smile on his face. There's no way they're not doing trivia. That would be such a shame. Like,
I know,
I'm sorry. I
truly.
think trivia is one of the best parts because you can like laugh at people and they can laugh at themselves. And I feel like that's so much fun versus like seeing someone like run and then run back and forth.
Some
Like,
of the challenges don't translate well to like entertaining TV, but
absolutely.
trivia always does.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that was one of the things, like, oh, this person will be good. They won like 3 vetoes and 3 HOH, and it's like, yeah, but I've seen some of those HOHs where like you have to like run up a slippery hill and grab something. Like, that's not it. Like versus things where, I don't know, I think of when, do you know the challenge when they like dug out kind of like these 6-foot deep like hallways, and they had like the balls on each end, and you had to get your balls from one side to the other, and so like there's the physical contact in the middle. Yeah. And I think of like Zach and CT just like hitting the shit out of each other.
Image of like CT.
Yeah.
With like Adam was his partner or something.
Yeah,
like,
remember
rivals.
like he tried to kill Adam, and then they became partners on Rivals, and
And
like CT's like biggest thing is like, I'm gonna make you my best friend. Like, God, I fucking love that man. That I think of like challenges like that, and it's like, I don't care how much of a comp beast you were on Big Brother, it doesn't necessarily carry over to the challenge. Like, obviously people like, and I hate that I'm saying this, Fessy or like Casey, like they're built for things like the challenge, but I don't know, I don't see like a Xavier or like a Kylan, who both, I was told like both won like 6 different challenges or like comps or whatever within Big Brother. Like, I'm sorry, but until I see them actually like fucking ball out in one of these types of challenges, I'm not interested in your Big Brother track record. You know what I mean?
I think this is why, I don't know, I feel weird about this because I think each TV show has something challenge elements that you can put into it that will go to your advantage. And I get that Big Brother has competitions, but I don't think that's the aspect of that show that can be brought into the challenge. I personally would fear more someone from Amazing Race who has to constantly run with a heavy freaking backpack everywhere. And then also like trivia, a lot of the time it's like, what is the capital of blank? What language? Like, I just watched All Stars, and then TJ asked like, what language does Brazil speak? And automatically in my head I'm like, Portugal. But like, I can't imagine in that intense pressure being, maybe I might have slipped up and not said Portugal, because I know that I can be intense when you're up there. And so for me, it's like, I see more of that like endurance aspect to people on Amazing Race with like those challenges more than I do see someone on Big Brother who like will have to be like, how many balls are in this room, and then you write a number on it, and then you just win HOH. I mean, there's more to it. Don't get me wrong, Big Brother is my favorite reality TV show. Like, let's not get it twisted, but it's not fair. I feel like you can't compare the two. I think like if you have a better endurance, it can help you for sure. But a lot of what the games are in Big Brother now are equalizers. Like, they're trying to make things equal.
Yeah, so anybody can win.
Yeah.
And to be fair, they've kind of been doing that in All Stars a bit as well, with this challenge. So I'm wondering if we'll see that in like the Challenge USA. You know, like you think of the like Naya winning the fucking putt thing with the star wand.
My God! I jumped. Yes, I did. Love you, Naya.
Or even like the ring toss one. Like, yeah, there's some running part of it, but it's as much like social strategy as it is the running back and forth stuff that I feel like there's at least an attempt. But at the same time, like, that's All Stars 3, where these are people who have done anywhere between like 1 and 10 plus seasons of the challenge already, versus what is CBS trying to do with this challenge? What is Like, what is Viacom trying to do? Because we also know that they're doing like ones in different countries, and supposedly we're supposed to get this like face off between the USA winners and the other countries winners and shit like that. That's like, what aspect are we going for? Are we looking for equalizer stuff? Like, do we want someone that we see as a layup all of a sudden winning a challenge and getting power? Or are we really trying to hone in on like, let's fuck shit up physically and we want the biggest and baddest to win? And that's where I kind of I'm like, it's hard for me to just look at these people because also I don't watch Love Island. I don't know what their personality is like, and we know social like matters, but like I just looked at Cachet and I'm like, okay, she's kind of skinny, but you know, Amber B is kind of skinny, and girl just won a final. Like, given I think if she wasn't partnered with CT, the smartest person there, I don't know if she would have won. I think CT's partner wins in that aspect almost the whole time
Every
because
single
like,
time.
but he
Because
said
he's like
like if it
cheeky.
wasn't for Amber, like Amber was really good at the running part, but CT was good at like the math, especially with Amber having like I as a math teacher I should know the name of it, but like number dyslexia. Um anyway, like I feel that you can be surprised by like by what someone looks like and if they win. And I also think we shouldn't be surprised if someone that you think is like a physical threat from Survivor, from Big Brother, from Love Island, whatever, like goes out early, because you could have an elimination that is something like the one that we just watched a couple weeks ago on All Stars, where they had to bring this stick through a maze, and then after they had to like put this ball almost like it was a pool stick
Yeah,
into
like
a hole from
shoot
10
it.
feet
Yeah.
away. Like, you do not have to be the most athletic person there to win that. You just have to be there, you know? And it's, I don't know. I don't know. I'm saying so much and I don't think I'm making any points at all. But at the same
No,
time,
you're
I think
you're
it
you're
kind of
making
like
points.
encompasses what the challenge is and why it's so fun, because it really just depends on like
Mhm.
what happens on any given day in the challenge.
I think luck is kind of like the word you're looking for, and spontaneity. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because like every show that we've ever talked about, even like every show except for, and this is why Love Island is such an anomaly to me. It's because these people are on the show to be good looking and fit. And
Mhm.
I don't blame them. I am one of their viewers and I'm here for it. I love some good love dating TV shows. Don't get it twisted. But it's so out of a left field in comparison to what everyone else is doing that for
Yeah.
me it's like my assessment a lot of the time will be like they have a good like bond or whatever, or these two people coupled up but they are no longer together and there's bad blood or there isn't bad blood. Whereas everything else you can like analyze a lot more because a lot of what you've viewed is the same. So, like luck, for example, there's an aspect of luck with Big Brother, Survivor, Amazing Race, and the Challenge.
Mhm.
All of them have those aspects of luck and like just being at the right place at the right time, or catching something or hearing something in the right time. Whereas Love Island, a lot of the time, it's well, you're a bit of me. Let's couple up. Like
Mhm.
it's you know what I mean. So it'll definitely be a little bit interesting to see how it gets down to, because at the end of the day I think all of these people are fit. They would not bring anyone who wasn't in good shape on the show.
Mhm.
So I think it depends on the challenges, and I think a big part of it is because a lot of these players are more strategic. It'll have to do more with like strategy. So I'm curious to see if they're gonna try to get the big players out there first or the people leading the conversations.
Mhm.
Like I'm interested to see what what that rundown will be too, because the challenge I feel like it's a lot more physical first,
Yeah.
whereas like a lot of these shows are strategic first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I definitely agree. And I think like at first when I saw that they were including Love Island people, I was kind of like, oh, okay, I guess. Like I understand that you need to include people, but then as I've like thought about it more, and especially having these conversations, is that I don't want to say I'm the most excited about the Love Island people, but because I don't know them, I think it would be different if I like knew more about them. But I'm excited for what they can bring, because
Mhm.
are they going to be like team mess? Are they going to be the ones that drink too much when they go out and then like all of a sudden one of them is on, like they were flying under the radar and then said something stupid to someone else, and like all it takes is something like that to then become the target for the house the next day in the vote. Like
Mhm.
are they going to bring that aspect to it? Are they going to be like chameleons and kind of like match who they've aligned themselves with? Like, are they going to stand out and run it socially? Like, are they going to be the most physically competitive? I don't know. So, like, because they come from a show that is not based really in nearly as much strategy as Survivor, Big Brother, and I don't think Amazing Race has as much strategy as it does like grit and perseverance, let's say,
Mhm.
that like what are they going to bring? And so that like wild card component is super exciting to me.
I think a lot of what will happen is that I think there's going to be two extremes. We're going to have um them either be the first boots, like I'm thinking of some
Mhm.
people in particular,
Mhm.
or they'll be kind of like the people. There might be a division. I could see a big division. I don't know between who, maybe Survivor and Big Brother,
Mhm.
or they would work together and then everyone else, depending. Because I feel like Survivor and Big Brother, the circles run a lot in the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
vicinity. So we'll see how that shakes down too. But this cast in particular, with the two groups that we've chosen, we'll see. But I think the Love Island people could kind of be in the middle.
Yeah.
Like people kind of like, well, I think a lot of people might view them as numbers. Like, oh, I can
Yeah.
bring this person in for my scheme or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it could like maybe like hide within the group and like kind of persevere. And because of like the social and the charming stuff, I don't
Mhm.
think they I don't see them really being, I don't want to say the stars of the show, but I
Mhm.
don't I don't see them like being like the really forces to like butting
Yeah.
heads with people. Um but we'll see. The thing is, the Love Island cast is a big old question mark. You don't know
Yeah.
what you can get, and because and that will be interesting because I feel like some people might be able to like, well, I've seen his season, so I know what he can deliver. Like if I was on
Mhm.
a show, I knew Ben was coming on, I'd be like, oh, like I want this man out as possible. Whereas like these Love Islanders, you don't know much about them, so I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of people are going to use the first few challenges to assess some things about them
Mhm. I
as
also
physical.
wonder, I could be wrong about this because I haven't looked up any of their ages, but at least upon first glance, that they seem to be the overall like youngest group of TV show, like for of the four TV shows. Like, um, I think that you do have like a shift in priorities if you are like a Tyson who is leaving his like
Family,
wife and kids back home to come
yeah.
and do this. Like, I think you might have just a different mindset about it. And we kind of see that in like All Stars too, where it comes a point and like, yeah, everybody's playing for their family, whatever, and that type of thing where and again, I don't know the Love Island people. So like, is this more of like an exposure thing to help me continue promote my Instagram influencer shit? Or is it people who like, no, I'm doing this because I enjoy physical competition, or like I could see myself becoming the next Johnny Bananas and making a career out of this. Like I don't know them enough to know that, but I also think that um the priorities, like everybody obviously wants to win. No one's coming and being like, "Oh, I hope I'm the third loser," like whatever. But I do wonder if because they're a bit younger, I think your priorities when you're younger are different than someone who is in their 30s than who is in their 40s. And so like how does that come into play? Is this exposure? Is this I want to be a challenge all-star forever? Like oh, I'm just back in the spotlight. I don't know, like to me, I just have so many questions about what the Love Island people can bring to this show that it's one of like the big question marks for me that will keep me invested like as long as they're there, because this group, whether or not they want to own this, and not just Love Island, but this group of the challenge, like they're gonna make or break if this has any success long
Later
term on
down.
CBS. Yeah, like the direction it goes. And so
Um,
overall just very interested.
I think a lot of them are here for clout, personally.
that doesn't surprise me at all. Like, that's what I would
Like,
expect you to say.
I feel like a lot of them are here for clout. Here's the thing. I feel like a challenge staple person is like I don't know. I see more potential in like challenge staples in some of these players than I do more Love Island players.
Mm-hmm.
Like one person in particular, Kira to me, because she has been on Love Island and she
Let's talk about
just
her next. We don't
okay.
have to go in my order. Like, if there's someone that you think is a great example for it, because I can't add to the conversation about them.
Okay.
I can like go off of what you say that they can bring, but I
Yeah.
can't be like, oh yeah, Kira, she's a dumb bitch. Like, no, I don't know that. Like, if you are or are not one, Kira, if you're listening right now, I apologize or you're welcome. I don't know, but either way, I didn't mean it. It was just an example. Sorry. Anyway, go ahead, Josi.
So
Bring
for
us in with
me,
Kira.
Kira is a very interesting person because of where she's at right now in terms of appearances on TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
So she was on Love Island season 1, and then I just watched X on the Beach, and she was also on that show. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
finish X on the Beach, so I think she ends up with David, but I don't know. I haven't seen it. So but she's picked David over, who was a part of some other Love Island show, obscure show that you cannot find. I had to get a VPN to Australia, and even then it was so complicated, so I just dropped it. And so I feel like she will be a big MTV presence in general, and she kind
Mm-hmm.
of brings it. Like is she the person like giving one-liners that make me laugh? Not necessarily, but I think that she kind of has this like attitude about her, this confidence about her, this swag about her, that like she kind of just says things and people run to her. Like she's a presence. That's what I'll say. She's a presence, and like I've only seen her on like love related aspects of the shows, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she could be a threat. Like I think she's one of the only people I can see really long term, like kind of like being there for a while. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's because she could have other connections. Like again, I don't know when some of these shows have happened, but for example, Kira's now connected to Davon because they're on a show together. Davon
Mm-hmm.
has been seen to hang out with Tiffany, and there was like this big event with a bunch of Black people just there. Davon was there, and there was like people from Survivor and Big Brother. And so to me, it's like Kira's well connected enough, and she has a good personality. She's kind of, I feel like, I'm not saying that she's a guy's girl, but I just feel like guys would like want to like chill with Kira, if that makes any
Mm-hmm.
sense. Like her like atmosphere and her stuff like that, and like the way she just like carries herself. And I think she's pretty fit, like from my understanding. Like I think she could do well in challenges, but I don't have much to base that off of.
Yeah.
And so I think she's a threat. Do I think she would win? I think looking at this cast, and I'm just gonna be honest, I think this cast is more geared towards a Survivor winner winning
Mm-hmm.
than any other group here.
Yeah.
The Amazing Race has no numbers whatsoever. They're so
Yeah.
easy to pick off. And I don't know how they are socially with how they're gonna like match with this cast.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like Big Brother has numbers, Survivor has numbers, and like I feel like Survivor is more prepared to face a show like The Challenge than any other show. And so
Yeah.
to me, do I see her winning? No, I see a Survivor player winning.
Mm-hmm.
To be real. But I think she is one of the people who can withstand the Love Island franchise the most, for sure.
Mm-hmm. What was I gonna say? I think something that came up in the Big Brother one is that um they think that Big Brother is likely to not work within Big Brother because there's a lot of
Yeah.
people who like want to kind of prove that like, oh, I can do it without like the cookout or whatever, or people who are mad because they didn't have a chance to win because of the cookout or whatever it is, that they think that there's a likelihood that they won't work together. So I wonder if like we'll see some Big Brother, Love Island alliances, and I don't know. It'd be interesting.
I think again, I think that the Love Island people are kind of gonna like, I think some people have really tight bonds in Love Island. That's what I'll say.
Mhm.
So Kira, for example, on this cast, she was coupled up with Cashel. Cashel.
Yes, so which we can talk about next since.
And they dated for a while after the show.
Oh, so we
And
have
they broke
exes on
up.
this show.
Yeah, they were together
Ooh.
outside of the show, and then they broke up. But apparently, I think they still have pictures with each other, like on their feed or whatever. So I think
Mhm.
it's like an all love type thing,
Yeah.
instead of like an issue type thing. But then again, I really, once these people get off my screen, I don't care. Like I am not like, oh, now I have to follow them on Instagram and follow every little thing that they do.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think from my understanding, they ended off on good terms and like they're cool. And so Love Island has a lot of these people who have been together and who have love for each other because they've experienced something together that is different, and there was no competition per
Yeah.
se. So there's not, I feel like there's less of bad blood there than
Okay.
like a
Yeah.
Big Brother situation. And so do I agree with that assessment that these people might not stay the same? Oh, for sure. I think Love Island is one of the few that like, because the bond is different and the circumstances are different in terms of like they just like got to live the summer of their lives
Mhm.
together. I think they're more likely to stick together from the vibes I got.
I get that. That's as someone who worked at a summer camp for a decade, like my two
Mhm.
best friends are summer camp people, and so and it's when you experience something that intense where there's like you have no outside contact, you have like it's just the same people, especially the ones you clicked with, like I could definitely see that happening. So um that doesn't surprise me that you're saying that. So you said that Kyra, is that how you say her name, Kyra?
Yeah.
And
Kira?
Cashel,
Kira?
Kira,
Maybe it's
Kira,
Kira. Yeah,
Kira,
it's
Kyra,
Kira.
Kira. Okay, let me
Yeah.
write that. Kier,
Feel free to
Kira.
roast us in the comments if that's not how you say her name, but I think it's
Yeah, my
Kira.
bad. As someone who hates getting called Kari, I should be better,
Kari.
but uh, it's fine. Dated Cashel. What is Cashel going to bring to the show for us?
um,
Ha! The
Nothing.
silence is deafening, Josi.
I He's like one of the most, to me, one of the people I'm like, I don't really.
Oh, I was not okay. So sorry to interrupt you. You
Please
know
go
how I
ahead.
told you it like goes alphabetically? Because I took it from like variety.com's list. And so like it's all their like pictures. And if I just like wasn't expecting this to be him. Like when I scrolled to the picture just now, it's just like, oh, okay.
He didn't look like that on Love Island. I'll let you know that he had like full set of hair, a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
curls in the front from what I can remember.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, he's a mono musician. Take that with what you will. I don't know. I feel
Okay.
like season one to me probably are the people from Love Island that I feel like might have to work a little bit more in connections because there's only two of them.
Yeah, it's the two of them.
Yeah. Whereas like season two, there's like Sally and Justine who are like best friends. They live together. They love each other. Like their bond is really beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And like season three, there's four of them. So,
Yeah.
obviously Cashel's gonna have Kira, but like I don't expect him to be there long. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he could provide personally.
Uh-huh.
I think if someone is viewed as like someone to get the boot early on, it would be him.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like I don't know. I just feel like I don't see him going towards people. It's so weird because in my opinion, I feel like there's going to be so much metagaming happening in terms of like outside relationships, whatever. And I
Yeah.
think a big thing is a lot of what we see in the challenge is who's going to take the shot first, who's going to take,
Mhm.
because look, if you shoot at me, I'm going to shoot back at you. So
Mhm.
who's going to take that first shot? And I feel like Cashel might be one of those people who just like just ends up being like we don't want to take a shot yet, so you're going to be one of our first picks. Like, I don't see him connecting with the rest of Love Island. I can see him like partying and having fun, which is great. We love that. But
Yeah.
I just, because of that, I don't see much going for him long term. Like, he's not someone to me that I just feel like will be like a social beast in comparison to everyone else on the cast. Like, I
Mhm.
see like Justine's so fucking nice. Like, I just see her like doing very well because she's just a good person.
Mhm.
Versus like Kishal, like I'm like, what are you gonna provide? I don't know. I I'm not saying like he's a bad person or whatnot, but I think he really has Kira and that's it. Whereas I feel like Kira can like kind of just like spread her wings and like move navigate this game a little bit better
Yeah.
than Kishal.
That makes sense. So we think he's an early boot.
Oh
That's where
yeah.
we're at.
Yeah. Like the complete
Bye.
opposite of Kira. I'm like, Kira's gonna make it far. Like, just you guys wait. Kishal, I'm like, first boot. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned Justine and pronounce her name for me, Selly. Okay, they're roommates.
Yeah, well, her full name is not Sally, but like that's a nickname. I think it's like Celine.
They didn't
Celine.
have her full name on this
Okay.
cast photo, so
Okay, well,
her
Sally, Queen.
government name to me now is just Selly.
Sally. Okay.
So
I
do you think, before you even get into either of them, pro or
mhm,
con that they are roommates coming into this?
pro.
Pro.
Pro. They're best friends. Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if they still live together, but they're best friends. Justine and Sally are the only two people I follow on Instagram from Love Island ever.
Got it. Okay.
And they're I think so. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure. But they're both they're both just beautiful human beings, like inside and out. And you can tell that from their I follow Sally on Instagram. Um which means I definitely follow Justine because I loved Justine and I hated what happened to her post season of Love Island. Truly. I freaking
Mm-hmm.
hated it. But we won't get into it. But if you were on Twitter, you know how chaotic that was. But yeah, so Justine, absolutely love her, adore her. She and her are gonna, because they're best friends,
Mm-hmm.
they're just undyingly gonna have each other's back. Does that mean that they're probably gonna get targeted? Perhaps. Because
Yeah,
to
that's what I'm
me, it's
wondering.
like the challenge won't make or break their friendship. I really don't think
Mm-hmm.
so. Like, they're just gonna have each other's back. But the thing is, I think Sally as an individual, to me, she's not meant to be on the challenge. I'm sorry. Like, I love Sally. She's a beautiful personality, but I don't see her getting downright dirty with it, like eating ridiculous food, like,
Oh gosh, someone Valencia tagged me in a tweet being like, "Did you see this?" And first of all, shout out to our girl Valencia, we love you. But second, of like it being that they're implying there's going to be a gross eating challenge, and it's like, no, I don't.
there
That
definitely
I
will
get
be
that this is somewhat a challenge staple, but it
staple.
doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be.
Like, I feel like the Survivor peers will just not fucking care
Yeah,
because, like, back in the day, Survivor auctions, when they would end up with some
yeah.
weird, oh my god, but that's what I mean. Like, Sally is a beautiful human being, truly, truly, and I mean this with no shade, but I just don't see her on the challenge. Like, I don't see her making it that far. Could she surprise me? Maybe, but I'm like 99% sure that she will not last a week. Like, we'll see her maybe first episode, second episode. Like, she's up there with Kishel with like first boots. But I just think for her it's more so like I just don't see her matching up with other potential competitors. And I
Mm-hmm.
can ease if she doesn't get last, depending on what the hell the format of the show is. I could see her getting last and then a challenge, or someone being like, she's easy and going after her.
Yeah, the layup.
And then her being friends with Justine. Well, it's great for them. I don't know how other people are going to pursue it, but I also don't know how many of these people really know Love Island like that. Like, if they're going to the airport and Justine and Silly are like kikiing, ha ha ha, like whatever, like you can get an inclination to what's going on. But I don't know. I don't see them as like strategic players to like downplay their friendship. So I think it's great in the sense that you always know that you have that one person that will always have your back.
Yeah.
But just like any other game, if people know about that, that's the issue.
Yeah.
And that's why we see a lot of people downplay relationships. Like
right. Wes and Nehemiah.
Yeah, I was
Wes
gonna
and
say
Brad.
Wes and
Yeah.
Nehemiah. Like Wes in particular, his friendships are very downplayed in the house.
And it's also because his friends don't trust him in the game, so they know to watch out for that. But yeah, I get what you're saying. That so when you describing her, I don't know why, but gives me like, what's her name? Nicole Ramos? Is that Nani's cousin or whatever?
The eyebrows, yeah.
That's the vibes I got. Like that's when if I were to relate to a challenger, that's where.
The reason I slightly disagree is just because Nicole, she has like a little bark to her. Like she's a little like, she can get a little like mean.
Yeah. That was like her biggest strength, but also probably her like greatest downfall, is that girl had a mouth that couldn't back it up physically.
Yeah, Sally's not like that. Like she's just like, she's like a sweetheart. Like I the reason why I like her so much is just because she's so kind. Okay. And she's very bubbly. She's like an early riser. Hi everyone, how are you? Da-da-da. Like she's very like, you can tell that she has a good heart. And I think she's one of the people who is seeing this maybe as an opportunity to boost their clout, not in a bad way. But like I know that she has music coming out and stuff like that. So I would not be surprised if like she was really here to like, I'm not saying that she's gonna pull an Emmy and start singing.
I was just about to say, are we gonna get like a performance of like Alien by Emmy?
please, God no. One thing, I could see like Sally like singing around the house because that's just how she is. She gives very Disney princess energy. Okay, like just good. Okay, wholesome. Like and I think she's gonna be one of those people who's like gonna have a good time at the drinkings section. Yeah, but I don't think she's like here to cause mess. Like she's just like, like within her time,
not a long time.
Yeah, like during her time, I feel like the person who brought the drama was her partner, Johnny. We won't talk about him because the boys from that season, I do. There's a reason why there's no boys from season 2.
I feel like I remember when season 2 was out, people just like hating the men on that season.
They were horrendous. Here's the thing, Jeremiah, I know he was on season 2, but I think he was there for like a day, and then he was on what was that season of the actual challenge? War of the Worlds. I don't know. Secret Agents. Yes. The Agents one where
he was on there. Oh, yeah. Amber. Oh,
yeah, he was Amber's partner, or like they dated or something.
Oh,
like he was from season 2, but I think he was there for like 2 days or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
he was briefly there.
Okay. So the season 2 men, not needed. Perfect.
But yeah, I really hope not to see them in the future. They provided nothing for me. They couldn't.
You sounded like TJ at the end, like hope to never see you again, as they like get eliminated from the.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I could be proven wrong. Maybe next season they're gonna take a guy from season 2, and I'll be like, oh my god, I take it back. But like no.
Something worth noting is that Love Island isn't a CBS show anymore. Peacock has it now. Yeah, you didn't. Well, you're not American, so that like makes sense. And I didn't mean that in a negative way. If it came off negative, obviously you know that I love
it. Makes sense. Fuck Canadians.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a stance right now. Fuck Canada. No, if anything, like after yesterday, like take me in. Do you need me to marry you? I will. I have some. I don't have a lot of financial stability, but I can at least support myself.
And they were roommates.
No, that Peacock now is going to have Love Island. It's not CBS. So
So
not even
interesting.
NBC, Peacock, like their streaming service.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
so
know I
this
know about Peacock, but like that's so weird to me.
yeah, so that means like we're not getting any other seasons of Love Island to pull from in future Challenge USA
Huh.
seasons if there are. Like this is it.
Is Peacock who owns Peacock?
NBC.
NBC. Oh. Oh.
So yeah,
Because I
it's
know
switching
Temptation Island is
channels.
also on Peacock. So
Is
are
it?
they like venturing in?
I thought that was Fox. It used to be Fox. When I was a kid, it was Fox, but I don't know
It's
what the new ones now. Oh wait,
the
isn't it on
oh,
like USA?
that's why okay, because
Yeah,
the
that's an
reason
NBC
why
company. Yeah.
I was saying that is because I they released the reunion at the same time as the finale for American viewers.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Canadian viewers, we have to wait the next week to watch the reunion.
Uh,
So when I was doing Temptation Island coverage for just a damn messy plug,
yeah.
like I wanted to watch the reunion because I didn't want to like wait another week to do a reunion when like most of our viewers are American, and so they would have already seen it. So it would have been like, why aren't you mentioning the reunion? I don't know. I just felt like wait.
Yeah.
So I went and I looked at the same time, and when I was trying to do it, like I had issues with my VPN, and at the bottom it was like you can watch it on Peacock. So I was like, huh, okay. I've heard of Peacock twice now because there's that other show, but there's another show on Peacock coming, and we were talking about this with Katie in DMs, where there are Survivor players
Oh
going to
yeah,
be
yeah,
on it.
yeah.
So like
Yeah.
Suri and
Yeah,
Poverty,
Suri and like I don't think Parvati, I think it's Stephanie.
but there are people from Survivor who are coming now on Peacock. So like,
Yeah.
what is
There's
that
there
dynamic now? Are we really
I
thinking that there won't be any Love Island people in the future? Because clearly, like they're taking from the same thing. Like,
but I just think because like the challenge is CBS, they're not gonna say like season 4 Love Islander who is on Peacock. Like I don't think that they'll take them because it's like
mm,
cross contamination of the like your major channels here in America. Like your 4 major channels are CBS, NBC, ABC, and Fox. And so like even
mm,
MTV taking like CBS Big Brother people, MTV is owned by Viacom, which is CBS as well. So like that's really
oh,
not like
okay.
murkying the waters, if you will. But I
Mhm.
can't foresee if there is a Challenge USA season 2, them inviting on Love Island season 4 people because those Love Island season 4 people will have been on Peacock and not on CBS.
Do you? I feel like we're kind of deviating, but I just want to
I
ask this
mean, that's
question.
what we do, which is fine. So
Do you see another season 2 of this show? I personally just find it really strange because it's like I don't understand. I don't understand what's happening. Like I personally just don't understand it because you have MTV, and I'm speaking as a Canadian, so this is why it may be a little bit confusing because there's like other levels to this that I don't see. Because everything in Canada is either global CTV, City News, not City News, CTV, global City TV, and I'm trying to see what else. Maybe like no, I feel like those are the big three for us. Like
mhm,
if there's a show that you're watching on like the challenge is on MTV, which is its own thing.
mhm,
But like Survivor Big Brother is on global TV. So I know to
yeah,
look at that. But like if I'm watching like Mass Singer or whatever else, I'm watching that on CTV. So to me it's like really like interesting to see the dynamics. Like I can say that CBS is usually global TV. So like I
mhm,
know that those are going to be on the same level, and then everything else like Fox is sometimes global TV, sometimes CTV. It's really weird for us. So
mhm.
I just like don't foresee it happening because it's like to me I just didn't understand what was the point of bringing some of these Love Islanders on MTV's The Challenge originally during Spies, Lies, and Allies,
Yeah.
and then having these Big Brother people come in right before, and then having CBS as The Challenge. Like to me, I don't get it. I don't
So
get it.
here's my guess based off of what I've read, and I'm connecting some dots, so not all of this is factual. And if anybody has any insight, like jump in, tell me for sure. Is that I actually think the popularity of All Stars had a huge effect on this. Um, because I think that they saw that it's not just like there's I want to say like an older demographic, but that they can bring in people your age, like you're 21 watching All Stars 3, right? Like I'm 34 watching All Stars 3. There are people who are older than me watching it because it's like nostalgia factor, but they're also not just seeing it because I think people enjoyed it beyond like just having the personalities on there, but more so you have a challenge. It's a different reality competition TV show than Survivor and Big Brother. Like it has similar components, but there's definitely differences. And it did well on Paramount. Like it is getting numbers on Paramount, and so I think that with the challenge bringing in people like Challenge MTV Challenge, bringing in people from the UK. We've got what Romania. We have like South
Mhm.
Africa. Like we have people from literally all over,
Turkey,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
UK,
everywhere.
Nigeria.
And so I have friends like from camp in the UK, right? So they used to have to like, do your type of shit to see it.
VPN,
Yeah,
slay,
like whatever it
sponsor
was.
us.
But within the last like 2 to 3 seasons, they've started airing the challenge in the UK. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so like I think it's been a very like coordinated effort to see if like by bringing in people from different countries, what I don't think they care so much about like our viewership because I think they know that the people watch challenge, and if they don't, they don't here in America. Like it's been established for so long, but like, does it have popularity in other countries? And then with the popularity of All Stars on a streaming service and people watching it, I think that's where they kind of like moved forward with this like this next step of okay, let's try this component of it and see if it works because they're doing like the challenge Argentina. They're doing like the challenge. I think there's gonna be like a challenge UK. I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me, but I think there is like other countries are doing it. So I think it's supposed to like it's almost supposed to be like a reality TV Olympics, if you will. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna get some like
Okay.
international competition in it. So I think they're like trying to use data of these things have worked individually. Now, if we bring them together and try it on an international stage, will it still work? So I think that they're like trying to take a chance on things here based off of the
Mhm.
proven popularity of other things. That is like my viewpoint on it.
I think why it's so confusing to me is like I don't see what exactly is the line for casting purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Who is getting casted on the original NTV's The Challenge? Because we have,
Well,
is it you? Like we've had War of the Worlds and stuff like that. First of all,
mm-hmm.
stop with those seasons. I'm sorry. I want Rivals, X's. Bring it
Yeah,
back to when it
same.
used to be
Bring it
messy.
back to the basics.
Bring it back. But and that would be so good. Like imagine X's with people from Love Island. It just makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes sense. But because the frame of this is now see the Challenge USA, like I don't see where the line is between MTV's The Challenge now and what it is now, like what it has become. Because we've had people like Jay and Michaela and whoever else on the
Michelle,
regular
Tommy. Yeah. But that was all
season.
before this one existed. And then I'm wondering, I don't know, I'm wondering, but there, like, when you're on Big Brother, you sign a 2-year contract to not be on another show. When you're on the challenge, I think it's a 1-year contract to not be on another show. So I think there's a reason why we didn't see people like Josh, Casey, Fessy, and so on. Or Michelle. Well, Jay wasn't on this last season. Michaela, whatever, like on this season of the challenge, I think because there is like um conflict with contracts in that way. Uh but you do have a point because like the challenge originated as like real world versus road rules challenge, and then
Mm-hmm.
is evolved into other things. Real world doesn't exist anymore. Road rules
Mm-hmm.
doesn't exist anymore. They start bringing people in from Are You the One, and that was controversial as fuck. That doesn't exist anymore. Like you're right, where are they getting these people? But then it's like, okay, if I'm on season 24 Big Brother, which I'm not, but if I am, and then I get an opportunity from MTV's A Challenge or the Challenge USA on CBS, like what am I doing? Where, because like where is MTV getting people from? I agree with you. Are they gonna start pulling from maybe Peacock, Temptation Island, Love Island? I don't know. Because those are also non-CBS, because MTV is under CBS. So it's very confusing. I agree with you. Like, if we're talking the future, where's all this going? I don't know. That's kind of where I'm like, I'm not trying to, I'm trying to take stuff as it's coming. Like, I know that
Mhm.
Challenge 38 is filming right now. So we know we're going to get that. I don't know what's happening. If there is a, did I see that? Yeah. So Challenge 38 and 39 just got renewed. So we're definitely getting a Challenge season 39, which is weird because they just renewed 38 like while they're in the middle of filming this season. Reddit was funny about it, where it's like TJ comes out and is like, everybody go home. We weren't renewed for season 38, like while they're in the middle. But we're definitely getting a season 39. So are they just going to rely on these people that have been around for forever? Are they going to rely on pulling people from like Geordie Shore, Love Island UK, like,
It's so weird to me. Like the shows that are on MTV currently that I
it's
see, like
ridiculousness.
aside of ridiculousness, like I personally, as someone who watches Siesta Key, I could not see Juliet coming on to do a challenge, or like
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey or any of these people. Like that's just not their gig. They're here to model and to drink and to like fight. Like that's really it. Like I just I don't see them coming on the show. Teen Mom, I don't necessarily see them coming on the show. Jersey Shore, maybe,
No,
because they're
they're
trying to
too
revive
old.
that. No, they're trying to
Oh,
revive
you
the
mean like
new,
the second? Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like, and they're trying to do like a Geordie, like all the shores together at some.
Yeah,
I
All
don't know
Stars.
what is the vision, but that's why I think it's so confusing, because I'm like, are they even gonna have a season 2? Because like USA to me, it's not a special event. Like, if they're saying we're taking a show that you love and using people you would not expect for a
Yeah.
season only, cool, that's fine. Like there's been specials like that, but it's been under MTV's
Mm-hmm.
umbrella, where I just don't see the difference between what that is versus what is the challenge. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it's hard for me to even envision a season 2, because I don't even know what the difference is, and they're gonna have to work really
Here's,
hard to explain that.
I think there's two factors that'll play into this. One, I think CBS is going to offer a bigger appearance fee than MTV is. I guess there's three factors. So I think one, appearance fees will play a factor into it, because I think they'll get more money from being on CBS as a challenge versus MTV's a challenge. Two, it's still like publicity, for some of them that's big. Uh, and then I think three, the best way that I can relate this is I remember watching the first season of The Masked Singer and thinking, this is either going to be one and done or it's going to go on
Mhm.
for a while. And the reason why I thought that is because our, how do I phrase this? Like the celebrities in Masked Singer, are they in on the joke? Are they in on the entertainment? Or are they going to be made the butt of the joke? Are they going to be the entertainment because we're just clowning on them? And I thought that the response was like really good from the first season of The Masked Singer that has allowed it to
Yeah.
continue on, where I could see the challenge going similar ways, like the Challenge USA, where do we have a good reaction from the audience? And the other thing is like, it's the perfect summer TV show. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I get that you have Big
Mhm.
Brother on 3 times a week or whatever, but that's still 3 times a week. And the challenge is a once a week commitment where it's like, you don't have to think, you just watch the challenge, like,
No thoughts at empty.
yeah. And summer television here is like kind of a big deal with just like how ratings go
Mm,
and everything, that
it's more
you're bringing
difficult.
in the fans from 4 different television shows to watch this potentially. Like I just think of, even within like our silent podcast group chat, where I'm like, hey, who wants to talk about All Stars? And there's like 5 of us who watch it. And then it's like, oh, well, when the USA one starts, I'm going to be watching that. And it's like more than half of us are planning on watching it. Like the viewership is tripling just from like involving more Survivor people. Even though there's been
Mm.
Survivor people on these seasons of MTV, you know what I mean? Like people fucking jizz over Michelle Fitzgerald all the time. Like the fact that she's been on this will be her second season.
Yeah, they just started pulling people from Survivor. Yeah,
like Jay's been on there. Like we have some, and it's still not picking up the viewers of it, but there's quite a few people that I've talked to just within our group of silent podcasters to be like, hey, are you interested in covering this? And they're like, no, I'm not watching that, but I'm going to watch the USA one. That at least there's some magic around it right now. So I think like it could go either way, especially if they're going to frame it as like the Challenge Olympics, if you will. Like, okay, maybe we do it only once every 4 years, kind of like the Olympics. That'd be kind of cool. Of like, and now we've gathered like the best reality TV stars over the last 4 years, and we're gonna determine like the top 3 women, top 3 men from the USA to go against like the ones from the UK, Argentina, from wherever. Like that could be cool too. I'm not against that. So I think like a common theme for me is I don't know where this is going to go, whether it's with like episode to episode in terms of strategy, socialization, that type of stuff, and then like even the future of it. Regardless, I'm going to do my best to enjoy the ride.
yeah, we'll see. But aside from that, back to the topic of Love Island.
No, see, like Josi, when I was first talking about like us doing this, and my other 2, I've had 2 people on, but neither, like, no one's watched a challenge outside of, like, they've only watched a show where I'm like, oh, I know that Josi is on her own for talking about Love Island, but I know that we're going to talk, like, big picture challenge shit. And so I expected that. And quite frankly, like, I think if you're listening to this, you're probably not listening as much for, like, the Love Island insight. Like, you want to get to know them a bit, but it's because you, like, want to know what they like about, or, like, what they might be for the challenge. And so I think like all the conversation we're having is, especially, I don't know, for me, when I started listening to podcasts, I listened because none of my friends watched the shows that I watched, and I just wanted to like hear conversations about the shows that like, I'm sure that if you're listening, this conversation is something that like, oh yeah, I didn't think of that, or oh, I would love to have this conversation further. So I don't care if we derail, fuck it, it's our show anyway, like whatever.
Okay, well,
you don't pay me, viewers. Just kidding. You do if you listen to the ads. Yeah.
But
talk to me about Justine. Talk to me about Justine.
I was gonna talk about Justine. Sorry, give me 1 second. I think there's a spider and I will not be able to concentrate if I do not get it. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll talk about not Love Island. So, like I was saying, I don't know what the future of the show is. However, I do think that there is a lot to be determined from how this first season goes. I am interested to see, especially while Love Island people I think are going to be the wild card, I'm interested more so in seeing how like the Big Brother people kind of break down in terms of, are they going to be Big Brother strong, or is it going to be very like egocentric of like, no, this is about me. I did, especially like the cookout people, like they played for each other once. Is it time for them to play for themselves? So I'm definitely interested in that.
I don't know what they talked about on your show, but from that I follow like challenge spoilers, things, whatever.
Yeah.
The only time I saw something about Challenge US, I don't know if it was on my timeline and it was a picture of a whatever, but from my knowledge, a lot of people from Big Brother unfollowed each other after the show. So like I know Alyssa got unfollowed by a lot of fucking people.
After the challenge?
Yeah. Oh. And then I know, oh my god, Valencia, hi. And then I know,
I was supposed to reply to her.
Who else do I know? Who else? I think, I don't want to say Derek did. Maybe it was Kyland. One of them. Like a lot happened. So like I think Xavier maybe, but a lot of people unfollowed each other. So I think it's drama within the cookout? No. I think after Big Brother, a lot of these people bonded and
Mm-hmm.
got really close. And so I can imagine people coming into the show and feeling like, oh, we're going to be Big Brother song. But like people like maybe Alyssa or Derek who are outside of the cookout might feel like they have something to lose. And so they just might
Mm-hmm.
not care about how they're perceived. And so I do know that Alyssa got some lashing somewhere, somehow, but we'll see.
Okay. Good to know.
Uh,
All right. So back to Justine, because Justine's name came up on, I think, both of the first two podcasts that I did about this.
what did
And
he say?
just kind of like in a positive way of like, oh, this person will get along with Justine. This person will get along with Justine.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I know nothing about Justine. I know that you said earlier that like she's awesome. But what
Mm-hmm.
like what's Justine gonna bring to this show besides her relationship with Selly?
So Justine is also very optimistic and very positive. Whereas I think maybe some people could get annoyed by Sally. I don't think that's the vibe that Justine brings, even though they're both very positive people. I think Justine's a dancer. So already
Okay.
I know that she's fit. Like I know that there's actually a lot that goes into dance. Like something like balance, which could be really important in something where you have to like move from car to car or deal with like a beam or something up in the air. Like I feel like Justine is gonna do well in that sense because of that background in dance. And I think she could be a potential competitor in terms of what she could bring in terms of fitness
Mm-hmm.
because of the fact
Okay.
that like what she has. And like I think I've seen like clips of her working out or something. And so I think in that sense that's really good. But I think really it's gonna be socially. Like I think she's just gonna get along with a lot of people. I in my head, I see cliques of people who are just gonna gravitate in general, who are just gonna gravitate towards each other. For
Mm-hmm.
example, like I just see Ben and like Sarah from
Yeah,
Survivor. Just
that's natural.
you know what I
Like,
mean? But
the
it's not
sky
even
is
just because they're
blue,
on the
the
same
grass is
shoot.
green.
It's just they
Yeah.
get it. Maybe even like a Dominique situation, maybe even an Enzo. Like those two I could just
Mm-hmm.
see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think on a general scale, Justine has a lot of people she can connect with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she already has Sully, but I could see her with Ozza or Desi or maybe even Shan.
Yeah.
Um, and like aside of her, like she also has all the people from Love Island. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that she has social capital that a lot of people don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I think in that sense, because of like, she's not deceptive. The thing is that I think people are going to be less paranoid of Justine, which is a
Mm-hmm.
huge part of the game. Because
Yeah.
when you're paranoid about specific people, you just want to target them automatically. Whereas I don't feel like a lot of people are going to get that from Justine. So I do have confidence in her physical prowess in comparison to Sally per se. Um, and I could see her making it quite far.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we'll see because I don't. We'll see the dynamics, but I think she'll also be like a under the radar type of person. Like I
Okay.
could see her like kind of just nodding and smiling. Okay, I'm listening to you, rather than
Mm-hmm.
like you know, like for example, Shan. She's someone who's just like during her season, she was very like I want to take the lead. I want to take the charge and like leading that. And a lot of people
Yeah.
like to shoot at those people first.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that she might learn her lesson from Survivor. We'll see. But I don't see Justine ever being the one being like, let's go. Da, da, da. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like, I feel like she could take a Priscilla role where Priscilla during Spies, Lies, and Allies, like she didn't do much until like her back was against the wall. And she's like,
Yeah.
they keep picking us off. And she does one of the biggest moves that entire
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
Even though it was very small, she does one of the biggest moves. And so it's like that attitude where she's kind of just sitting and observing and taking things in and taking notes. I
Mm-hmm.
could see Justine doing that. Not necessarily because she's a strategic person. I just think as a person, she
Yeah.
would be more observative in this environment.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I feel like you were kind of describing Amber B's first season in a way too.
I think the thing about it's really weird because Amber B, I personally don't get the whole like why everyone hates her thing. I'm not in the
Oh,
house, so
same. Yeah.
like maybe there's just like living around her stuff that people just don't fuck with. But she kind of rubbed people the wrong way for some reason. And I just don't
Mhm.
see that happening with
You don't see
Justine
it with
at
got
all.
it.
Like
Okay.
I just think the way she is, the way she be her demeanor, that's the word.
Mhm.
Her demeanor
Yeah.
is sickening. Like it's just like it's very I don't know. I think I could see her hanging around with strong players who are
Mhm.
taking the lead and taking command and not necessarily being a number for them or a puppet, but using that information and doing things a little bit more methodically. But we'll see.
All right. We've covered all the season 1 and 2 people, and we have a few season 3 people left. So I'll give you the pick of who you want to talk about next. Cinco, Giovanni, or Shannon?
Hmm.
Is it pronounced Giovanni? I'm assuming yes, but
I mean, to be honest, I can't speak on no one how to say their name, so I'm not gonna say anything. Let's do. I don't know. If okay, in a general sense, the people from season 3 I'm excited about are Cache and who else? Maybe Cinco.
Mhm.
Like, but that's because of their personal dynamic more so than like anything else.
Mhm.
So I guess I'll start more so with people I'm like okay about. Shannon, I'll start with her.
Mhm.
She walked Love Island. Like she didn't get the boot or nothing. Like she didn't get dumped. She walked.
Like she
Um,
left it?
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Why?
Um, honestly, I couldn't remember
I'll look
why.
it
I
up.
just am pretty sure
Why
she
did
walked.
Shannon
Um,
leave Love
but it was like
Island?
near the finale. I'm pretty sure. Like, I think it was like 2 recouplings before the finale. Um,
Oh,
but
it's
yeah.
because his sister passed away, the guy that she was like coupled with.
Okay. Yes. 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 Yes.
And
So
so he left and then so she
she
left.
left.
Yeah.
Shannon to me. Oh, Josh. I think she was coupled
Yeah.
up with Josh the entire
Yep.
time.
It was Josh.
Um, yes. So, yeah, I, uh, I don't know. I don't see where she can fit on the show in terms
Mhm.
of dynamics. She's been there a long time, so I think she has like a good relationships from people from her season because she's kind of just been there the entire time. Um but like not the entire time, but most of the time, sorry. And so I think she'll be good, but that's like a general sense of the Love Island cast. Um I'm interested to see how she's going to do physically cuz I don't know what her social game is going to do with this cast.
Mhm.
I think I'm using a lot of my thoughts on based on this cast and not them as individuals. If
Mhm.
that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like maybe she's gonna work with like Alyssa or
Uh-huh.
something. Like it's really hard for me to give an assessment on her in specific. Um, you know, I
I'm going to ask a question as like understanding our dynamics that I am a white woman and you are a black woman. So, like to put it bluntly, we have a very like this is a black dominated cast, which is
Slay.
fantastic. Yeah, I'm so excited about it. Like this is I'm happy for that. I was talking about the diversity in casting for the challenge last time with Julia, especially cuz she asked she's like have they always been like this? I always feel like MTV's The Challenge has been a little bit ahead of the curve in terms of diversity in casting. Not entirely, but a little bit, right? So it's nice to see that we have Are Black people the majority in this cast? Regardless, like, is Shannon a white woman who can hang with Black women? Like, is that too blunt of a question to ask? Because
No,
I don't
I don't
think it
think so.
is. I know that there are white women who just can't hang with Black women, and like they just don't have like the social capacity to do so. I don't think it's like in anything like negative, or I'm not going to say like in racist ways, but obviously just the fact that like sometimes you just can't. And so is Shannon someone who's going to be able to hold her own? Cuz she kind of strikes me as like Shannon doesn't really have any other like young white women to hang around on this cast, really. You know what I mean?
um Sorry. It's so true. It's so true. I'm kind of here for it. Not gonna lie. I
Sincerely.
Shannon was a fan favorite. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what I mean. I I personally am like, her romance with Josh was like really interesting. Like they were together for a long time. I think a lot of people thought that they would stay together. I'm pretty sure they
Yeah.
like
They broke up
broke
after a year,
up
I
in like
just saw.
February or something. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like they're friends and stuff. Like, I don't know. But everyone kind of releases a statement where they're like, there's no Black blood. So you don't really know behind the
Yeah.
scenes. But I just I think that it's really hard for me to make a statement like that because I don't know what goes on behind the scenes and I don't follow along afterwards. I think the
Mm-hmm.
thing is that the Love Island cast, they kind of just again form this bond. Like, they just share this bond about how like they spent the summer together and the time of their
Yeah.
lives.
Yeah.
Um and so I'm just I'm just not sure. I think it'll be really hard for her. Um you know what I mean? Because again, this is not Love Island. Like, I think I don't
There's
think
stress,
she's
there's constant gameplay. Like, it's
there's
really
so
hard
much going
to
on.
escape like the reality of the fact that like you're on a show for $1 million. Like, if we hear it on All Stars, they go to the club and no one's dancing, everyone's politicking. Like, obviously we don't know if that'll happen here, but like I just to me in looking at this cast is like I feel like in the challenge, the people who tend to do well have at least one person that they can rely on. Maybe like no, even Jordan has like Naya this season, but like Jordan is always my person who I think of can like last a whole season not having like a true number one, right? Everybody else like tends to have a number one that they can just like go and maybe like be themselves with and trust or whatever. Who does Shannon have
I think she has the people on her show. Like,
per
that's
season?
yeah, but the thing is that I see a lot of people from Love Island just making bonds that are with other people. Not to say that she's not going to make these bonds with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Shannon's likable, you know.
Yeah.
She's like, for sure, and so it's really hard for me to be like, oh yeah, like she'll do well. But that's the thing about the show. The show is really about Love Island. Is really like people making out, like people
Uh-huh.
making out, having a good time. Like, how I don't personally, I don't see Shannon sitting down and being like, let me watch all the seasons of this challenge that I can watch before getting on. Like,
Yeah.
that's my perception of her. And
Yeah.
so I don't think she'll be prepared. Does that mean I think she'll be like terrible? No, because it's hard for me to assess again what we're gonna get from these individuals.
Yeah.
And what they can provide. Um the thing is that I think a big thing, and me and my co-hosts do this all the time when we talk about Love Island, is that we look at people's Instagrams, who they follow, who they hang around with, blah blah
Yeah.
blah, to get an assessment of like what's their type. Are they gonna be into Black women? That's like a big thing that we go through. It's like, are they gonna be into Black women?
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know what I mean? And I just think that she will get along with people. I know that she's friends with Cachet. Like, they're very close, I think, because of Love Island. I think I've seen her reference her as her sister.
Okay.
before, like in a birthday post or something.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, like I'm seeing pictures of like Cinco and them together in 2023, like not 2023,
I was like, wow, you can see into the future over there. Damn,
21.
Josie.
Like I think their couples did really well together, and so I
Yeah.
see Cinco and Cache working with Shannon. Um,
Mhm.
but aside from her season, it's hard for me to be like, oh yeah, her and her for sure. I think
Yeah.
you kind of, when you're in circumstances like this, you kind of have to stick with who you know,
Yeah.
who's your friend, and they're gonna stick together. But outside of that, I don't know. I think a lot of it will depend on her ability to be like her physicality.
Yeah. Like, is she worth people's time,
Yeah.
essentially?
Like
Okay.
or her social being. Because again, I think Love Island people are very charming.
Mhm.
Very like flirtatious people. And so I'm not worried on that aspect. I
Yeah.
think it's like seeing who she will align with. Because I really don't think it'll be show versus show versus show. I
Mhm.
don't think that's how it's going to boil down to. So I think it just depends on the dynamic of everyone else. Um, because I think Love Island is going to roll more with the current than making waves.
Mhm.
So we'll see.
I mean, that
But
makes sense.
yeah, that's really how I feel about her. To be honest, I could see her making it far. I could see her like I think it just depends a lot on everyone else, which is sad to say. Like
Mhm.
while Love Island is a staple in terms of the show that it is,
Yeah.
like it's really hard for me to be like, oh yeah, for sure I see this person making it far. Um because there's so many factors that are involved in
Mhm.
this entire situation.
All right. I mean, yeah, that's something that we haven't. I mean, we've talked like a lot about different components of the challenge. Is we haven't really talked about or even speculated, which I don't think we need to, just how much like the layout of the show can affect things. Like we
Mm-hmm.
saw last season in All Stars 2 where they were playing individually in some challenges they'd get put into teams, sometimes pairs, sometimes like trios, whatever. And then all of a sudden at one of the challenges, TJ's like, pick a partner. This is your partner for the rest of the season. And um how like the format of who gets thrown in, is it going to be the last place person automatically goes into the
Yeah.
challenge? Is it going to be a house
Mm-hmm.
vote? Is it going to be an authority or like a trioca trifecta, whatever, like how is that happening, what's going on with that? And so I was trying to explain to the people who hadn't watched a challenge before, it's like it's hard for me to sit here and tell you what the rules are, because even like right now in this all-star season, we still don't know what the fuck these stars mean. Like the
Literally.
we don't know all the rules all the time, so sometimes it's like tough um
Yeah.
to really determine that. So it, like you said, the format could be huge. And that is like a big question mark for I think a lot of people's success within this show. But
Mm-hmm.
we'll
Mm-hmm.
see. Hopefully we get a good format and nothing like skulls or anything. And bring it to
Imagine.
basics. Have the
Oh
last place
my
person
god.
go in, have an authority, have it like where I don't know. I do really like the part where that person gets to like call in who they want, because then like no alliance is safe. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I get your point in that like it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Uh,
It'll. There's so, and that's what I mean. I feel like adaptability is going to be a big
mhm.
part of like who makes or breaks it in the show.
That makes sense to me. All right, we got two people left. We have Cinco and Giovanni.
Let me get into Giovanni for a second.
All right.
He got booted off quite early on his season, like maybe week 3 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Which in retrospect is not that long when Love Island is like 4 times a week. But all that to say, it's like, like we saw more people from his season than we did him.
Okay.
Um, so for me, Like, I can see him. I see a lot of. I think the main pillars of season 3 are Cachet and Cinco. Is there maybe a
Mhm.
little bit of bias in it? Maybe, but like I feel like they carried a lot of like after what Love Island was,
Yeah.
and like who people really cared for, and so for me, people like Shannon is really good friends with like Cachet and like Cinco and stuff like that. Um and I think Giovanni is like good friends with people on his cast. But I just also don't see a future for him. Like I and he might surprise me. Truly, he might really surprise me. I just don't see it for him. I think he's a fun guy,
Mhm.
but I don't know. It's like I feel like he's one of those disposable players, just like Kishal. Like I don't know. Like I think I think it depends on his performance and the format of the game, but I just don't see him doing too much
Mhm.
with like what's happening with the cast. So I mean, he's not the person I'm also the most excited to see personally.
Yeah.
Like within the people here, like I'm excited. He's like at the bottom of the list of the people that I'm excited to see from his season, from the entire franchise. Like I'm very excited to see Kira. I'm very excited to see um Justine and Sally and then Cachet and Cinco. Like to me, the rest of them was like Shannon, she's cool.
Mhm.
She can run with us. She can hang with the gang, I guess. I don't know. But I think it depends on numbers. But I just see someone as like I see him being in the crossfires, like disposable. I think he's probably a disposable person. I think when you spend X amount of days in the villa,
Yeah.
like the longer you're in there, the less like the stronger some of your bonds or feelings about specific people may be.
Mhm.
Um, so I just see him kind of being at the bottom of the totem pole for the Love Island crew.
Bye, Love
Um,
Island crew. Just kidding. Um,
Unless they're going by seasons, but I don't see it that way. I just see
yeah.
Justine and Sully just like being so good with them that like same thing with Kira that I think in terms of the guys at least he's one of the most disposable. Like the guys
Okay.
are not carrying the Love Island like structure. They're not.
His cast photo, he's wearing a bucket hat, and it just reminds me of Cyrus. Like
I totally
no,
get that.
no other relation besides that, like they're black
The
men
bucket hat.
wearing bucket hats, but like I just saw the bucket hat and thought Cyrus for some reason. Otherwise, I have no connections to make between those two.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Love Island guys are not going to be carrying except for one individual who I've left for last on purpose.
Mm-hmm. Tell
Um,
me about Cinco, aka Five. Just kidding. Go ahead.
Cinco. Oh my god, I don't know why you said 5, and then it just reminded me of Quattro, which we're not going to get into. But oh my god, I think Cinco's going to get along so well, like with the
Yeah.
people. Yeah, um, yeah. I think he has cash in there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, who I think is gonna do really well entirely. So I think that might be her number one guy, even though they're not together anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think he's just gonna get along with like everyone. Like I can see him hanging around Shan and like who else? Maybe even Tiffany, even though I don't think Tiffany will be there for long because she has a big target on her back. Um, like I could see him getting along with a lot of people on the cast. This sounds so bad, but like the Tysons in them,
Mm-hmm.
I see them making it far. I just don't see them hanging out. Like the Survivor people, it's really hard for me to see them like hanging out with a group of people. Like Cinco and Danny for sure could be like boys, but like it's really hard for me to be like, oh yeah, I could see Ben and these people hanging out. I don't know. They just don't strike me as people who like to like have fun.
Yeah.
Like, the way some of these other people do. I think it could be a big thing with like the age difference.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could see, I feel like Black people just like to have fun, okay? Wherever they are. Whereas like, I can't see Sarah getting down with the get down. Like I personally can't see that. But so when I'm referencing Survivor players, like I just think of like people who I feel like will be more adaptable in like all aspects of it rather than being like manipulative and too strategic. But I can see Cinco just like hanging around. I think he could be a big threat too, for some of the guys. So we'll see. But I think Cinco has the most promise in terms of all of the guys on the show from Love Island.
So, what was I going to ask? You said something that made me think of it. That shit, it had something to do with like the age stuff. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I know what I was going to say. I do wonder where like how the survivors are going to do in terms of the intensity of the house, because I know that like you're stuck on an island or whatever, but they always they like can go in the water. Like it's kind of easy to get alone time when you're playing Survivor versus like all the other shows do have, I mean, like Love Island is the villa or whatever, but I feel like it's a little bit of a different component where the rest of them are used to kind of like being within this encompassed area that is the house. Like I know that if you look at like Natalie Anderson's short time on the challenge, her big thing was like, I hated it. I hated it more than being on Survivor because like there was never alone time and she didn't want to go out drinking, but they forced them to go. Like you can't just choose to stay back from like the club scenes or whatever. And I wonder if like is how much, especially the older Survivor players, are they going to be willing to like play along with that, where I feel like the Love Island people will probably be the best at being like, let's fucking go, you know?
I think the house, if you think about it in retrospect, is like the least of people's should be the least of people's worries. I feel like people are gonna take the time to like. I don't feel like people are gonna be yelling and running around and doing crazy shit all the time, because like in Big Brother, like the house guests, like they were usually quite like relaxed because they had nothing to do. They didn't have social media, so they just got to know each other. And like while they would have like game nights or whatever, or like sing-alongs or whatnot, like it was relatively chill. And the Love Island people, they also don't have access to anything but to talk. So I don't see them. Maybe one night people running around and like yelling and blah blah blah. But like to me, I think of like the Challenge All Stars where like they'll party and they probably all go to bed at like 10 p.m. But it looks like they're partying up until 2. So I if that is the biggest struggle that is ahead for the Survivor peoples, I think they'll be fine. They'll be fine. I think the Survivor people, I think there's 2 different types within those people. Like I'm thinking more of like the Bens and the Sarahs and whatever when I'm talking about this, but I just feel like their group of people typically wouldn't be what the group is in this circumstance. Yeah. And so I think they're gonna win challenges and be in power positions more so than like controlling people to do what they want in the beginning. And like maybe when they have winning leverage, that's when they can start, shooting at people and doing all that. But it's hard. It's really hard because like I'm also trying to think about like Enzo. Like I was just looking at the cast like 2 seconds ago and I was like, where the hell is Enzo going to be in this show? Like this man does not seem like he's fit. So
like, sorry. What's funny
from what I've seen.
is when he was described to me by Isaiah and Julia. Well, first of all, I was like, if you said Enzo and just like guess what show he's from, I would have said Amazing Race. So that's like how little I know about him. Is that his strategy tends to be like to team up with guys who win shit and kind of like ride along with that. And I was like, that's really not the worst strategy to have in the challenge. Like, I could see him going far if he continues with that strategy. Cause, like, if your
Mm,
friends are winning and the format is compatible to, like, oh, it's the people that win that choose who go in, then you don't have to worry about it. So, like, if it is a format like
mm.
that, I could see this dude kind of like coasting his way through.
It's like the moment if I had to pick someone to go in an elimination with, I would pick Enzo if I was a guy. Like Enzo just does. Like Enzo just seems like he's in a he's a like he's like the Italian. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Drinking the wine, like chilling. I just don't see him like going into the gym and like beasting out and preparing and like stuff like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's just not that for me. And so, and I honestly think that Enzo isn't all that great, like as a player.
Uh-huh.
Um, like his original season, like he was a part of the brigade, and like he made it decently far. Final two, I think, maybe final
Mm-hmm.
three, but he also ended up final two with Cody in the Big Brother All Star season,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, that's great, but I feel like he was carried. And in a game where, again, we don't know the format, but if the format is you have to be in an elimination and win
Mm-hmm.
to make it to the final, I just don't see Enzo being in the final. And he's an older guy. He gets along with people, but like, I just don't see it for him in the cards to be a
I
winner.
personally don't think this is a guess. I don't like obviously I know some stuff because I follow along with like spoilers and things too. Um, but I don't think that they're going to make it where you have to go into an elimination because I think the success of All Stars has shown that um I mean like Jonna's first elimination in 3 seasons is in season 3 and she made it if they had a women winner in season 1, she wins, but it was just a one person winner, right?
Boo. Tomato,
Yeah,
tomato.
exactly. So like we can say that she's the top finishing woman for 2 straight seasons and is
Mm-hmm.
just seeing her first elimination in season 3 and that is like a tribute to her way or like her ability to be under the radar and have a great social game and I think that they want to I feel like they kind of want to emulate what's going on with All Stars and not with like the flagship because
Mm-hmm.
I think that they've just like deviated so far from what originally made the challenge so great on MTV's The Challenge that I think they're actually like my guess is that they're probably waiting for like a season 40 to do like a back to basics type of thing. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
for season 40, let's do rivals or exes, where I think they're going to try and ride this whole like movie themed decade of seasons out where I think that USA's challenge or like the challenge USA will be more similar to like what really brought in that core viewer and like enjoying or like the core viewership of people who enjoyed the challenge and be more like All Stars. That's my guess. I genuinely don't know anything, but I don't think that they're going to make it where like you have to go into an elimination to make the final.
To me, if that is the case, Enzo makes it far because he's probably in an alliance, but like he probably like in a final situation, he's like the first out.
Yeah.
Like like if there's like a I just don't see him like on it some endurance type shit. Like
Yeah.
I just don't see that for him in the cards. I could be proven wrong, but I generally don't think he makes if he makes final, he's like last, and it's probably because he got carried.
Mhm.
Like yeah, I just don't see him like winning dailies and stuff like that. But you never know. You never
Yeah.
know. And with this cast, it's like hard to assess. But I don't see it for him. Like he did win some stuff, but Big Brother competitions and in comparison to the challenge when you're jumping cars and
Yeah.
and like flipping in the air. I don't see it in the cards.
All right. I'm going to ask you the same questions I've asked everybody else. So from your
Okay.
specific group that you're covering, so from Love Island, if you were to pick a male winner and a female winner, who's it going to be?
Oh wow.
So you can't branch outside Love Island.
Well, that's just setting me up for failure because none of them. I could be wrong, but I just don't again see it in the cards. I think Survivor. I'm interested to hear what the Survivor people say because I feel like they're more likely to actually get the right answer. There's so much to pack. I can tell you for sure I don't think it's Sully.
Uh-huh.
Love her, but I don't see it for her. I think because the black people might be like fuck the cookout and just like go crazy against okay, this is based off personality and like prod. I think Cinco and Cache, those two are gonna do some damage for the Love Island crew.
All right, and then who is your must-see TV?
Messy?
You don't have must-see.
Oh.
Like, who is going to be the person that's like, oh, I can't wait to watch again next week because blah, blah, blah.
Ooh. I think it depends because it could be either Kira. I just think, okay. Because I like drama, okay? I'm framing it in this way. I like drama. As much as some of these women are great people, I'm talking Sally and Justine, great people. I don't think they're going to provide drama. I think they're going to be a lot of the time the diffusers, which is like great. We love that. But I like drama. So I'm going to say Kira because she gets messy. Or Cache. I feel like her DRs are going to make me cackle. That's just my hypothesis.
All right. Well, not only if you listen, did you get the what we think of these Love Islanders, and by we I mean Josi, but you got a lot of challenge talk too. And if you're a challenge fan, I'm sure that you, or maybe not, I'm sure, but I hope you enjoyed it because we are two real fans of the challenge. We watch All Stars, we watch a regular season, we like follow along with people in their off season, and I loved having the conversation because like I can talk about the challenge forever. So first and foremost, Josi, as you know, I love podcasting with you, so thank you for joining us. And
Icon.
where can the people find you on the internet these days?
Fun. Okay, well, I'm just casually on Twitter from time to time, so you guys can follow me on Josiane XNM, JOSIANEXNM. Also on Instagram. I posted a TikTok recently that got like smallish, very niche community viral. So you guys can follow me on TikTok, Josie Vian. I don't post there regularly, so don't expect something every week from me. No. When the wind blows. And then you guys can also drop some money on the PayPal account. I'm just saying. Same on. Anytime I'm with Kari, I have to absolutely promote my PayPal. And then I haven't been podcasting as much as like a few months ago, but I'm on Just So Damn Messy, and we have a fun time there. And it's me and my bestie just talking shit. So if you guys like to geeky get into the conversations and listen and get an inside scoop of the tea that we're always spilling, you guys can check us out there. And we also have a Twitter. Just So Damn Messy is the @. No spaces, no dots, no underscores, just straightforward to the point. So you guys can check me out there. What about you, Icon?
Oh, my podcasting schedule has died down a little bit too. But before we get into that, we've got me, KGD26, on all the platforms, and especially Venmo. So, I have to pay 2 rents this month. So, I'm just kidding. Don't send me money. It's fine. I do have to pay 2 rents because we're paying our like new places rent like a month early. So which is nice because after this, I won't have to pay rent until September. So I'll have like 2 months of paychecks where it's like all for me. But anyway, the point of the matter is KGD26, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Venmo. I'm trying to be better on Instagram. I've been posting a little bit lately. So check out Nitro and me content there essentially. And then in terms of silent podcasts, we are like in the thick of it for TJ Hates Quitters over here because we not only have this preseason coverage, we have one more episode of preseason coverage coming up Tuesday with Sabrina and Sasha. We're going to be talking about the Amazing Race people and just kind of the challenge overall. So again, if you are just like an overall challenge fan, expect some good stuff there. And we're winding down on this All-Stars 3 season. I think we're getting close to the final. So we'll have our next episode Monday night of this week's coverage. So we usually either record on like Thursdays or Mondays, but this week's will be Monday. So check that out. I just recorded this morning an episode of the Cool Water Show that focused specifically on Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip season 2 because they dropped 3 episodes on Thursday and we were like, we have to do something separate for this. So we just recorded that. And then we're going to be recording again tomorrow night, talking about Atlanta and Beverly Hills as usual. So, you know, the weekly coverage there. And then the special project I've been talking about, I'm going to start up in July because like all of a sudden June ended and or it's like ending.
So
June like went by so fast. I was so busy this month that I just like haven't been able to kind of like buckle down and get going on it. So expect that in July. But otherwise, yeah, you'll still hear me weekly with like challenge coverage going forward, like throughout the summer, which is fun. So in conclusion, you should rate us 5 stars. You should follow us on whatever we are doing. So I always forget to turn the fucking banner off. Okay. So Silent Podcast. Follow us on Twitch and YouTube by searching Silent Podcast. Subscribe, whatever the word is there. Follow. Follow us on Twitter at silent_podcast. And then if you listen to us in podcast form, please rate, subscribe, follow,
like,
5 stars.
comment.
Yeah, like I don't know what it is. Just all the verbs, right? Yeah. So we've got Valencia's like June was like in the running emoji. Absolutely.
Literally, it feels like my birthday was last week. It's ridiculous.
My birthday was last week.
Oh my god, what?
It was the 22nd.
Happy birthday.
It's okay. I'm not a very like big birthday person.
It was 3 days ago?
Yeah, I'm gonna like expose my best friends here. My 2 best friends both forgot to wish me happy birthday. Literally, like 3 people outside of my like family / boyfriend wished me happy birthday, but like I don't post it anywhere. I'm not a big birthday person, but it was just like kind of crazy because both of my best friends are birthday people. Like one of them I've gone to Milwaukee for like 10 straight years for like her birthday. My other one, she's just like big birthday person in general. Like, and so I even like talked to both of them on the day of my birthday and like neither of them said anything. So like the next day I sent a message being like, hey, did you forget my birthday was yesterday? And both of them were like, oh my God, I'm such an idiot. Like,
oh, I'm sad. Well, happy birthday.
Thanks.
Very belated. Not very, 3 days. Okay, I'm not that bad.
No, it's right.
But happy birthday. I hope you went crazy.
I went to Nobu with my boyfriend.
Oh, fun. Come on.
Yeah,
now.
so we spent like a lot of money, but it was like I've wanted to go because of reality TV, so it was good. But yeah, June, like once I didn't realize it was the end of June till maybe this morning when like I looked, I'm like June 25th. What the June's almost over? Like what the fuck is this? So yeah, in conclusion, rate us, subscribe us, do all the things. But 5 stars only. If it's not 5 stars, we don't want it. Have some patience, find a 5-star episode, then rate us then. So until next time, aka Monday, I'll be back with All Stars coverage.
With me.
Yep. Josi will be there too. We'll probably have a third. That we'll catch you then. But whenever you're listening to this, have a good night, morning, day, week, month, I don't know, whatever it is. But see you next time.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.